Good morning, children. So welcome back to the online session of your mathematics class. So we know that we are discussing about linear equation in two variables. Okay. So in the linear equation in two variables, we are discussing about the exercise 4.3. Okay. So two questions are discussed in the previous class. We will go for the third question. The third question is if a point 3,4 lies on the graph of the equation 3y is equal to ax plus 7. Find the value of a. Find the value of a. The equation is 3y is equal to ax plus 7. The given point lies on this graph. Representing the equation. We know that every straight line will represent a linear equation in two variables in the graph, right? So this is a linear equation in two variables. It represents a graph, a equation. Okay. In fact, it is a straight line. So this point will lies on that line. So if the point will lies on that line, this equation should satisfy this point, right? Or this point should satisfy that equation, right? Then only it is a point which lies on this graph, right? So let us take this point and substitute in that equation. The equation is 3y is equal to ax plus 7. 3,4 is the point. We'll take it as x, y, right? We'll substitute in that 3. You can write here x is equal to 3, y is equal to 4. In equation 1, we will call it this is equation 1. Okay. Now substitute that 3 y 4 is equal to a x value is 3 plus 7. Correct? So 3 4s are 12 LHS 8 into 3 3a plus 7. Okay. So I can bring 7 to this side to find out 3a. Okay, I will keep 3a only. I will transpose 7 to this side. What will happen? If I transpose 7 to this side, it will become minus 7. So on the RHS, I have 3a. So 12 minus 5 is, 12 minus 7 is 5 is equal to 3a. So if you want to find out a, 3 is multiplied with that. So if you send 3 to this side, it will become divided, because here it is multiplied, if you send to the other side, it will get divided. It is equal to a, or a is equal to 5 by 3. This is the value of a. Okay. So the given point lies on that equation. That means that point has to satisfy that equation. So therefore, I have substituted in that equation because it has to satisfy that equation. If I substitute that value, LHS must be equal to RHS, right? So therefore, I have substituted. I am getting a value 5 by 3. Okay. If I substitute the a value, then if I substitute x and y value, LHS must be equal to RHS. It is true. Okay. That is the third question. We will go for fourth question. Fourth question is, it is a word problem. We should convert into a equation. So the fourth question is, taxi fare in a city is as follows. So taxi fare in a city is as follows. For the first kilometer, the fare is 8 rupees. For the first kilometer, the fare is 8 rupees. And for the subsequent distance, and for the remaining distance, it is 5 per kilometer. 5 per kilometer. Taking the distance covered as x kilometer and the total fare is y rupees, write a linear equation for this and draw its graph. So you know that it's very well. Whenever you are taking a auto or a taxi, for the first kilometer it is fixed. So even if you are taking a auto, that is, they will be having a minimum. For first 2 kilometers, they will be having 25 rupees. After that, for the subsequent 100 meters, they are going to calculate, right? That is the thing. Here the situation is same. For the first kilometer, it is 8 rupees. For the next subsequent kilometers, it is 5 rupees. Say suppose you will be traveling 5 kilometers. So what is the fare according to this situation? For the first kilometer, it is 8 rupees plus For the first kilometer is fixed 8 rupees. So you have traveled 5 kilometers in a taxi. So out of that, for first kilometer it is 8 rupees. So what is the remaining distance? We have 4 kilometers. So for the remaining kilometers distance, it is 5 per kilometer. So for each kilometer it is 5 rupees. So how many kilometers I have? 4 kilometers. 4 into 5, 20 rupees. 8 plus 20, 28 rupees. You need to buy, you need to pay 28 rupees. So that is the thing. But here, taking the distance covered as x kilometer, they didn't given the particular distance, so therefore total kilometers, total distance covered as x kilometer we should take, and total fare as y rupees. Write a linear equation for this. Okay, we will take this and we will form the linear equation. Okay, first total distance covered, total distance covered is equal to x kilometer. They are given. Okay. Then total fare rupees y. Total distance covered and total fare. So in the question they have given that. Okay. Since for the first kilometer. For the first kilometer, since for the first kilometer fare is rupees 5, and for the remaining first kilometer fare is 5. So what is the total distance covered? X kilometers. If I take 1 kilometer out of that, what is the remaining kilometers? Totally I am having x kilometer. Okay, let us assume that totally I am having 5 kilometers. I will be removing first kilometer because first kilometer fare is fixed 5 rupees. So what is the remaining? 5 minus 1. 4 kilometers, right? 5 minus 1. Similarly, total kilometers is x, total distance covered. Out of that, the first kilometer is fixed, that is 5 rupees. So I need to remove that. What is the remaining distance? That is x minus 1. The remaining x minus 1. Okay. Remaining distance. X minus 1. And for the remaining distance x minus 1, the fare is how much? No, for the first kilometer fare is 8 rupees, and for the fare is remaining subsequent is 5. Okay, so what's the linear equation now? What is the linear equation for this? Okay, for the first kilometer 8 rupees is fixed, plus for the remaining kilometers, remaining distance, what is the remaining distance? X minus 1. For the x minus 1, how much cost for the remaining kilometers? 5 rupees. This is nothing but for the first kilometer I should take 1 into 8. 1 into 8 is 1 only. That's what I am taking 8. For the remaining distance x minus 1. How much for each distance? 5. Which is equal to total fare. What is the total fare? Y rupees. Correct? So this is the equation now. This is the linear equation. If you simplify this equation now, 8 5x minus 1. 5 has to multiply for both. 5 into ax, 5 into minus 1, minus 5 is equal to y. Here. Now, bring y to this side and subtract this. 8 minus 5 plus 3. Because between 8 and 5, 8 is the bigger value. It is having a positive sign. Plus 5x. If I bring y to this side, it will become minus y is equal to 0. Okay. Now, I write 5x first, then minus y, then plus 3 is equal to 0. This is the representation of the situation. This equation you can write in terms of y also. This equation you can write in terms of y also in order to find out the solution and find the graph. Okay. So what I will do? I'll stop here only. Okay. I'll stop is the linear equation represents. That is the one thing. Okay. So what is the simplification of this? 8 minus 5 will become 3. 3 plus 5x is equal to y. I write LHS and RHS and RHS and LHS. LHS is equal to RHS. Y this side, 3 plus yx on that side. So I will not going to change because I am not transposing. I am just writing LHS in the place of LHS RHS in the place of RHS LHS. That's it. So or like if I have 3 is equal to y, this is equal to y is equal to 3, right? Both are same. Similarly, 3 plus yx is equal to y or y is equal to 3 plus yx. Both are same, right? Y is equal to 3 plus 5x. Call this as equation 1. Okay. Call this as equation 1. Now, the question is, write a linear equation for this and draw its graph. We should write a linear equation. Linear equation is done. Draw its graph. For that we should draw the graph. So what is the procedure to draw the graph? We should find out we should find out the solution of this, right? By taking arbitrary values of x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. No, don't take 0 because the situation is we don't have a 0 kilometers, right? So we will take 1 only. X is equal to 1, x is equal to 2, x is equal to 3. We will take 3 arbitrary values and we can find out the y value. We will take x and y value as a combination and we can draw the graph. We have an equation. You know that how to draw the graph for this. Okay? Hope you will do this. Okay? So this is the equation. For this equation, you should find out the solution. You should find out the solution and you should find out you should draw the graph for that solutions. Okay? Which is very easy. That is homework for you. You need to come up with this question. Okay? That is homework for you. Okay? So the next question is 7th question. So 5 and 6 it is not there in the syllabus. Okay, it is removed ratio and proportion. It is removed from the CBSE since because of the COVID-19 they have reduced the syllabus. So while reducing they have removed those 2 questions. So that is not there. Those 2 questions will be belongs to a ratio and proportion. So that is removed. So then we will go for the 7th question. It is very a simple question. Yamini and Fatima, 2 students of a class 9 of a school, together contributed 100 rupees towards PM relief fund to help the earthquake victims. Write a linear equation which satisfies the above data. Draw the graph for this data. Okay. So there are 2 students, Yamina and Fatima. They have together contributed 100 rupees to the PM's relief fund. Okay. So we need to represent the situation in terms of linear equation 2 variables. I don't know how much Fatima contributed, how much this Yamini contributed, but their total contribution is 100. The question is same like earlier what we have discussed in the beginning of the linear equation 2 variables. The 2 batsmen, Dhoni and Raina, they have contributed 100 runs partnership. Individual runs, we don't know that. What is the individual runs? So, how to represent the situation in terms of linear equation 2 variables? How we are represented? X plus y is equal to 100. What is x? X is the runs scored by Dhoni. Y is the runs scored by Raina. Their total runs is 100. The same concept here also. Right? We'll write that Yamini's contribution, let Yamini's contribution be rupees X. Fatima's contribution be rupees Y. Okay, so we know that together they have contributed rupees 100. So we need to add, right? X contribution of Yamini, contribution of Fatima will be equal to 100. So this is the linear equation in two variables, right? This is Yami's contribution, Fatima's contribution. This is total contribution, which is equal to. If you add those two together, it is 100. Their total contribution. So this is the linear equation in two variables. Now we'll send x to other side. We can write in terms of r. Otherwise, I can substitute the x value here. So we will call it as equation 1. Okay. Now I need to draw the graph for this. Draw the graph for the same. So in order to find out the graph, I should find out minimum 3 solutions, right? How to find out solutions? Here I am having 100. So if you take 1, 2, 3, you will be getting a difficulty while writing the graph. I'll take a bigger values like x is equal to 10 in 1. Otherwise, I can put x is equal to 10 in 1. What will happen? So 10 plus y is equal to 100. So if you want to find out y, I'll transpose 10 to the other side. So y is equal to 100. If I transpose 10 to the other side, it will become minus 10. Clear? What is 10 minus 100 minus 10? 90, right? So y is equal to 90. So therefore, if I take x is equal to 10, I am getting y is equal to 90. So what is that? What is the solution? Ordered base of x and y. 10, 90 is the first solution. Is the first coordinate. First ordered pair, right? Similarly, I can take another two pairs. Okay? Then I can draw the x-axis and y-axis in the graph sheet. Along x-axis, I can take 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 10 units. Along y-axis, again 10 units. I will be having 3 points. 10, 90, 20, 80, 30, 70. You will be getting 3 solutions, right? So, float those points on the graph sheet, join those points. Okay? So that is represents the above situation. Okay? So that's it. Still you have one more question. 9th question. I'm sorry, it's 8th question. So that you need to solve. You need to try your work and you need to solve. If you have any doubts, please get back to me. Okay? So this will complete the lesson. Linear equation in two variables. In the next class, we will move on lines and angles. So classwork of linear equation in two variables must be completed and it has to be submitted by tomorrow. Okay, you should take a photocopy and you should send it to me. So please keep it in your mind. We will randomly call you to show the classwork to the school. Okay, we will call you and we will randomly show you the classwork to the school. So keep it in your mind. Your classwork must be up to date. Whatever I am doing, that has to be up to date. So complete that and take a photocopy and send it to me tomorrow. Okay. So thank you. We will meet again.